Ari. I'm in the business coaching space, so I help a lot of clients remove the roadblocks that hold them back from advancing their business. One of the questions I wanted to ask you, Ari, was around the traditional lead generation of leads coming from a website. One of my clients has sort of experienced this. So I know that you've been a big advocate of having pre-positioned before the sales call with setting some kind of trust asset or some kind of material so that they get a sense of who you are. And when they come to that call, this call is not about me, it's about the client. So by virtue of that trust asset, that's already taken care of. Here's the challenge. Someone goes to a website, they might look at it just briefly, they get a bit of a gist of what the company's about, they fill in the opt-in form, and they schedule a consultation. And the consultation will be around, whatever, see if they're a fit or whatever, whatever the enticer is on the webpage. Now, when people start that conversation, I know that my instructions normally start with make it all about them, take a step back, put it into their world. How do you deal with the fact that these people that come on the call don't really know much or anything about the supplier, and their natural tendency is to want to interject and say, well, tell me what you guys do. I saw you on the website. Can you tell me a bit about what you do? Now, I know that as soon as I would fall into that trap, or my client would fall into that trap, then all of a sudden they're on the back foot. So has that sort of given you some perspective as to what I'm sort of the situation? And
yes, it's the moment that happens a lot with experts and advisors who meet with someone for the first time and don't have a structure or framework for how to keep the ball in their court. Yeah. So in that scenario, when someone says to you, who's not well prepared in advance, and says to you, what do you guys do? What can you do for me? How are you different? All those crazy questions. What you do is you let them know specifically, not a sales pitch on your company or your services, but you basically summarize in a quick sentence, what is the one or two core problems that you help people solve? So if they say, so what do you guys do? What you'd say is, well, we specifically help people solve these two issues, issue 1 and issue 2, it's holding them back from success. If it's okay with you, may I ask you a few questions about yourself to understand more context to your situation and what you're trying to work on? And then we can take it from there. Would that be okay with you, Mary?
Yeah, great, Harry. So
now you see what I just did there?
Yeah. You're giving them something, so you're not shutting down the question totally and letting them feel that they're not heard. So you are giving them something, which is essentially the problem you solve, and then you're gently putting it back to them to open up and then start the conversation like that.
Right, because see, that question to you is a prompting you to start selling.
Yep.
Start doing a sales pitch. That's what these buyers are programmed to do from over the many, many years of all the salespeople out there trying to pitch and sell. That's the challenge, is they've educated these buyers to expect sales pitch. But when they get to your quote office, your clinic, Sam, you're a doctor. You don't know how to pitch. You don't sell at all. You only diagnose problem. You're a problem-centric advisor. So you only discuss the problems you help people solve. Now, if they don't resonate with those problems, they clearly aren't a fit. You exit them out the door.
Yeah.
So you always got to anchor the entire process around the core problems that you solve, because the irony of all this is they know what you do. They wouldn't show up if they didn't. They know you're a coach here or an advisor here, or it's not a surprise what you do. I'm sure they would not show up if you were a mystery. So they're just playing the game that they know to play to protect themselves from being taken advantage of, which means you have to insert yourself from the top of that conversation going down the iceberg so they can relieve themselves of knowing there's a process they're going to go through that's not going to contain a sales pitch, where they can trust you and they can see that you're focusing on them and not you.
Yeah. I like that, Ari, because it enables me to answer their question, give them some context, but I'm framing it with the way that the problems I solve. I don't tell them about how long I've been around, what I've been doing, and all that stuff. It's just framing it around that, and then gently back to them, and let's start off with that.
Here's the thing. They don't really care about you. Nothing personal, Sam. You're a nice guy.
Mm.
They don't really care about your business, how many years you've been in business, who your clients are. They don't really care about that. They don't really
Yeah.
care about even how you solve their problem. What they care about initially is this question in the back of their mind. Are you the one to solve my problem or not? Not how
Yeah.
you do it. So they're just going through the rote process they've been conditioned to do over the years by other folks who've been trained the opposite way of this way. And so now we're getting people coming our way who we have to reframe in a gentle bedside manner, doctor approach to bring them back into a frame where they can relax, drop their shoulders, and calm down, get centered, and feel safe and comfortable with you, that you're not going to use them for your purposes. You're going to simply identify their issues, x-ray the problem, help them see the gravity and the seriousness of it, ask if it's a priority to solve or not. And if it's not, then no problem. Have a nice day. If it is, then you onboard them from there.
What if they're a little bit bullish, and even though you say that you open up with them and they tell you a little about it, and then they jump back to you again, and they say, well, how long you guys been around for? And they still.
Here's what you say. Here's what you say, John. I'll be happy to answer all your questions for you. Every single one that you have in the back of your mind. I promise I will answer every question you have. Would it be okay first if I can get the lay of the land, the landscape of your situation, the context for what brought you here today, so I understand the inputs and outputs as what you're trying to solve, then we can take it from there. Would that be okay with you, John?
Man, that's beautiful.
You got to keep turning things around, Sam, so they don't put the ball in your court.